When you think about all of the most successful people the world has ever known, Napoleon, Alexander the Conqueror, Shakespeare, Genghis Khan, all those huge list of names that's going to go down in history, those names will never be forgotten. You instantly think about their actions, how Napoleon fought 80 battles, how Alexander the Conqueror, he conquered multiple countries, he got 4% of the world's landmass underneath his name, Genghis Khan killing, I think, 40, 50 million people. You instantly think about their actions. But there's one thing that all of these conquerors, these leaders, these most powerful people, they have in common. And that is that they have mastered their mindset, and most importantly, their thinking. I mean, Napoleon said it himself. Napoleon said, "A strong man is the one who can intercept, at will, the communication between the senses and the mind." Effectively meaning, if you can control your thoughts, if you have power over your thoughts, if you do not let your thoughts control you, you have complete control over them. If you can think before you act, you can effectively bend reality at your own will. Alexander the Conqueror, Alexander the Great, whatever you want to call him, he wasn't just a good strategist, he wasn't just a good warrior, he wasn't just a good leader, he was also a large student of philosophy. He was educated underneath Aristotle, who was one of the greatest thought leaders of all time. That just proves how powerful your education in your thinking really is. If you're educated, you can think well, you can therefore make good actions, good decisions, and create good consequences that are always going to end out well. That all comes from your education, and I'm going to say more about that in a minute. So why does thinking actually matter that much if you're an entrepreneur or you want to be successful? Well, it's pretty simple, to be honest. Success in business, it doesn't come from just working hard, typing at your computer all day, doing mindless activities, and printing money out of thin air. Entrepreneurship, or success in general, is a lot more than that. For example, you got to make tough decisions, you got to solve problems creatively, you got to spot opportunities when other people don't see them. The list could go on. And every single trait that I just mentioned there of entrepreneurship, that involves a supreme level of critical thinking, ability to think outside the box, ability to see in the future and consider the consequences of your actions and decisions. Thinking is the most powerful thing any entrepreneur or successful person has mastered. I mean, look at Elon Musk, your Jeff Bezos, your Bill Gates. They're all thinkers first and doers second. They always thought about their actions and their decisions before they did anything. Even if it was in the small sense, do I work right now? They think about the consequences of them getting to work right now, the positive consequences. Also, making huge decisions. Like Elon Musk buying X. That's a huge decision he had to make. And he didn't just do that because he thought, I'm just going to buy X. He thought, or Twitter, should I say, sorry, turned it into X. He probably thought for months on end, how shall I do it? Why shall I do it? What are the consequences going to be? He'll have had an insane amount of critical thinking going into that decision. That just proves to you how powerful and important your thinking is. I mean, just think about Shakespeare, bruh. He was one of the most influential writers of all time. Arguably one of the most influential people of all time. I remember in school, when I was like 15, 16 in English literature, bro, I'd have to learn so much about Shakespeare. I've forgotten it all now because I didn't really care about school. But that just shows that Shakespeare, who is one of the greatest thinkers of all time, his teachings and lessons still get shown and taught about and learned about hundreds of years later. And he also had this great quote, which I love, and it's also very true. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Now, you can probably already understand what that means. How you think determines your lens on reality. If you think something bad, let's say something bad's happened to you, your girlfriend's broken up with you. If you think that's something bad, if you think that's devastating, you think your whole life's going to end now, shit like that, then it's obviously going to be bad. But if you can also switch your thinking to the good side, oh, my girlfriend's broken up with me, that means I've got so much more free time. That means I can start going to the gym and prove her wrong. I know everyone's gone on that demon arc. That means I can start working on money. That means I can focus more on my friends and family. It's the same situation, but there's two sides to it. You can either have the bad side or the good side. And the only thing that separates those two in your perception of reality is your thinking. Now I'm going to teach you now some exact ways on how to improve your thinking so you can become a better entrepreneur. So the first thing to improve your thinking is to just study, educate yourself a ton. I'm extremely heavy on self-education, and every single successful entrepreneur, they could give you a list of 1,000 books, studies, courses that they've gone through to improve their thinking and just improve their life in general. I mean, Alexander, he was a student under Aristotle, and as you know, Aristotle is a very powerful man, very great thinker. That should tell you enough. I don't even have to go into that rabbit hole. But just study topics very broadly. Study whatever interests you. I've been reading about the subconscious mind right now, and honestly, it's changed my thought pattern. I am now forcing myself to become a positive thinker. I'm not going to go into the explanation because it's a very long one, but just reading a chapter of a book, bro, it's changed my thinking completely. It's going to change my thinking completely for the rest of time. And also Charlie Morgan, if you watch him, he's a fucking great YouTuber. He made a video on first principles thinking, and he also mentioned second order consequences, and that video has completely changed my thinking. I now think on a very simple basis. I don't go overthinking. I just think I need to do this because that is the first principle. Take making money online, for example. I've realised that now, because I watched that Charlie Morgan video and started understanding first principles, I've now realised that making money online, it comes down to two things. Social media, because that's obviously what you need to make money online nowadays, pretty much. Social media, the first thing about it is getting attention on you. That's the whole point of social media. Social media is attention. So if you can get attention on you, and then combine this other thing that I'll explain in a second, you're going to make money. I also understood that money, simply what it is, it's a transference of value. That is the first principle of money. If you can create value, and value, basically what it is, value is created when pain is alleviated. If you can solve problems, if you can help people, etc., that is value. If you can make value, you get value in return, because that is what money is a value here to value here. These values coincide. I make money by solving your problems, etc. Combine those two things together, and that's how you make online money. Now you've got to put the work in, and it's quite simple to understand. You've got to get attention, and you've got to create value. If you can get attention on your value, you make online money. And the only reason I can think like that, and now it's completely changed my perception on life and money and success, that's just, I watched a YouTube video, bro, and it's probably changed the trajectory of my life. That shows just how important thinking really is, and education. The second step is just training yourself to think critically. It's obviously a bit easier said than done, but it is entirely possible. You see, Napoleon, he was well-renowned and well-known for his ability to critically think. I mean, that guy, he fought like 80 battles, bro. He had to create a plan for each battle. He had to strategize. He had to think of what the opponents are going to do. There was a whole list of components that he had to think about and act accordingly upon those. And that all came from his ability to critically think. Now, if you want to train your mind into actually becoming a critical thinking mind, it's quite simple. All you have to do is just challenge assumptions, question beliefs, dig deeper into everything. You never take things at face value. You don't just hear something and think, okay, I'll believe that now. You always ask why. That is probably one of the most powerful things you can do to your thinking and just your life in general. Always ask why. The final step is to just surround yourself with people who are better thinkers than you. So this is people who are achieving the goals you want to achieve, driving the cars you want to drive, living the life you want to live, making the money you want to make. Because your environment, it shapes your thinking. If you're hanging around with people who are smoking weed all day, they're going out partying, they do tons of degen habits, their life's tending towards entropy, you're obviously going to act like these people, you're going to think like these people. Now obviously it works on the opposite side as well. If you're hanging around with people who are ahead of you in life, who are in the positions you want to be in, it's going to start to shape your thinking. It's going to force you to think bigger. It's going to broaden your perspective. It's going to expand your horizons. It's going to make you start making more logical decisions. It's also going to make you want to work harder and go harder because you're seeing the life that you want to live right in front of you. So this is how important a high-value network is, a high-value group of friends is. It's going to shape your thinking into bigger and better things. And obviously, if you can think better, that means you're going to become successful in your mind. And as we all know, before we can achieve, you must believe. And that means that before you become successful, you need to become successful in your mind. So developing a high-value network and group of friends and people that you surround yourself with will do wonders for your life. Not just for your thinking, will do wonders for your life in general. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, or it's educated you, or it's inspired you to go improve your thinking to therefore improve your life, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting a lot now posting a ton of value that you don't want to miss out on. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.